Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. My name's Jenny McCormack. Thank you for joining me. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you're joining me for the first time, then thank you so very much. Let me move this out of that reflection. If you are joining me, do say hi so that I know that you're here. For those of you that spotted my post about 3 minutes ago, it was actually a photograph of one of my daughter's horses. Horse's name is Dulux because she's a paint horse, and very sweet natured she is too. Thought it might just grab your attention for a change. Hi Katie, hi Catherine, lovely to have you join us, and hi to Carol. So thank you so much for joining me today. Yesterday I used this stamp set here for the first time, Garden Birdhouses. Let me just hop out the printed images so you can see a little bit better. So I did share some hints and tips yesterday as to what I do with new stamps. And one of the tips is to stamp them out on a piece of paper, because you get a better feel for how things go together. And I know the size of this is not always accurate, because if they're bigger images, they have to sort of squash them down to print them on the front. This particular one is the same, and it always tells you at the bottom if these images are scaled down. But I do like to stamp them all out. So here, for example, I've got 3 stamps that I've used here, so you can see how well they go together with the little bits of grasses to fill in any gaps. So I am going to carry on using this set. I'm just trying to find the live on my phone, which doesn't want to come up at all. Hi Jeanette, thanks for joining us. So I might just need to scroll down. And hi to Lynn, thanks for joining us, Lynn. I have to say, we nearly didn't have a Facebook Live on time this evening, or at all this evening, as I was chatting with Lynn on the phone, and she said, "Oh, I'll see you on your live," and I'm going, what live? I completely forgot. A, it was Thursday, and B, at that point it was 6:30 and my live was at 7 o'clock. So thank you, Lynn, for just teeing that up for me so that we're here. Otherwise we wouldn't be, and you'd be sitting there wondering what had happened to me and where I had got to. So I am going to talk briefly, before I start with those, about our designer series paper sale. This starts today, and this features 9 of the papers that are in our new annual catalogue, and each of those 9 papers are in our sale with 15% off. So all of the papers that were previously £10.75 are now £9.14. So that includes Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, the hand penned, one of my favourites, Pansy Petals, for those of you that join me for my pansy class. In Good Taste is reduced from 20 to 17. This is the one that's actually featuring in my class in a box this month. Sweet Symmetry, which I featured last week on Thursday and Friday. And we've got Tidings of Christmas, You're a Peach, and In the Wild. That's the one with the wild cats, leopards and tigers on it. Bloom Where You're Planted is one of the packs of paper that we used I used at our Let's Get Creative event. Sweet Symmetry is the one that Tara used. So this started today, 1st of July, and it runs through to the 2nd of August. So if you do like papers and the like, then it's a good time to stock up. and add to your supplies. Sorry about the reflection. I laminate these so that I can take them round with me, but of course they do reflect on the camera. So apologies for that. Okay, so information about that will come by email for those of you that are on my email list. Okay, so let's get down to some card making. So this was the card we made in our live yesterday. So very simply, I used the branch here, hung the birdhouse off it, added the little bird on this stalk, which is the same stalk as the bit that it hangs from the tree, and then did some flowers across the bottom. I did a coffee and cards in the afternoon, and these were the variations. So this one is very similar, and then this one I've done with the birdhouse on the stalk, and I've used the branch coming down as if it's a tree. I popped the cute little bird on top of the birdhouse, and then we've got the flowers across the bottom. So what I thought I'd do for today is 3 birdhouses in a line, all on little posts. So that is the plan. This was the envelope I did to match the one that we did on the live. These are all note card sized. I decided that 3 bird boxes on there might be a little bit busy, so I'm going to step this up in size and use a standard size card. So I'm going to start with a piece of card that measures 9.5 centimeters by 13.85. Oh, thanks, Catherine. The pink and the purple from yesterday. Orange and yellow growing. Yes. It's funny, isn't it? I wanted it to look like sort of, well, I don't know, marigolds or something. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for your feedback. So what I'm going to do is stamp the 3 birdhouses, and I think I'm going to stamp them this way, so I've got plenty of space, and then maybe have some trees coming in from the top. One of the things I also did was use a blending brush to add a little bit of sky into the samples here. It's not particularly easy for you to see. Hopefully you'll see a little bit of blue around here, and I've used balmy blue ink with my blending brush. One thing you might notice is that this isn't exactly in the centre of my birdhouse. I didn't consider that when I actually stamped it. So it's a little bit precarious on here. So I'm going to make sure today that I put them in the centres. So what I thought I would do is actually use my Stamparatus and position all 3 birdhouses equally across the page. So what I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to do it without this to start with. So let me find the stamp set. So my plan is to stamp the birdhouses first and then put the stalks underneath them. That's my plan. So there's 3 different styles of birdhouses, okay, which can all work on posts, or they could be hanging, obviously. So what I thought I'd do is use the grid to help line these up. So I'm going to, I know you can't see these in detail, I'm going to put this sort of, this one here, this elaborate one in the centre. And then I've gone one that looks like a bird box, and then the one which is the hanging one. But if I showed you one here. So I'm going to put this one in the middle, this one to the right, and the other one to the left. And I'm going to use the grid to help get them nice and even on my paper. So what I'm going to do is take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. I've had new glasses fitted, which are great, but not any good for crafting with. So I'm positioning this using this central column as my centre, with the bottom of the birdhouse along this line here at 9 centimeters, and then I'm going to add this one here on the same line, and then this one here. So I've got this as 1, 2, 3 and a half. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and a half. So that would be them even. So let me just take a little time to put that down. Obviously the Stamparatus is perfect where you want to stamp multiples of the same thing, but it's also really useful where you want to line things up really accurately. I did start by thinking I could put them on this block and do it that way, but then I thought afterwards this is a much better way because I've got the grid directly underneath, and I can stamp it, and then if it's slightly out of position I can just move it, and also I can restamp a couple of cards at the same time. This one might need to come down a little bit because it's got a little bit of a curve on it. And then I'm going to put my card here to see what space I've got either side. So I could just trying to get that equal in the middle. 2, 3, 4, 6.5. 6.5. There we go. That's about the centre. So what I could do is take these a little bit further across the width of my card, but in fact I think that spacing will work fine. Okay. So what I'm going to do is drop my plate down and press it onto my 3 stamps. I've got the mat underneath it, obviously because these are photopolymer stamps. I'm hoping they're going to lift up from there okay. There we go. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, oops, watch my magnets, like so, is I was going to stamp them on some scrap paper, but you know what, I think I'm just going to go for it on here. Why not? So let me just see. So I want plenty of space for my stalks. I can't think what it's called. Let me just centre this. So this has been cut to size to fit my card with a layer around it. So that looks pretty good. And that gives me enough space to stamp my things on. I could take it slightly higher, but I'm going to give that one a go as it is. So let's pop a magnet on here and here, and just make sure I'm nice and clear of those magnets. Okay, now I could, as I said, easily have done these just positioning them on my block and stamping, but I do like to show you different ways of preparing your stamps, so I hope that's been useful. And I'm going to use soft suede. Let me just check on any comments. Nope, we're all good and up to date. Okay. So I'm going to ink this up. So I'm using soft suede. I hope that's in your picture enough. Yes, I think it is. Just trying to make sure I haven't got any stray hairs on there. So I'll stamp this and see how it goes. I can always turn it over and stamp on the other side. And the other thing I can do, if I'm happy with this positioning and I was going to do a lot of cards, I would put a little bit of washi tape in these corners so I know exactly where to position this next time round. Okay, let's have a look. So this bit was a bit close to my magnet. Let's move that down there. And I can still see the ink on the stamp. And obviously didn't press very hard in that area either. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Perfect. So if I wanted to do a whole stack of these, as I said, what I would do is take some washi tape or some masking tape of some kind and write on put it on here. You could also use a marker pen. So for example, making sure you're outside of the position of the card itself, you could do that. And just make sure that your card is centralized in those 4 areas. And then you can just wipe that off with a little bit of alcohol wipe or something. Okay, so there's my first one. While I'm here, let's stamp another one. We might as well, as we've gone to that effort. So just centralising that in there and popping my magnets underneath, and I think I'll stamp this one. Let's stamp this in Night of Navy and have some navy birdhouses or blue birdhouses. There we go. So there's Night of Navy. So I'm just going to wipe these stamps down with my chamois. And I do like to use the stamping mist on my chamois these days because it smells nice. That's probably quite sad, isn't it? Okay. Right, so this is Night of Navy. So I just thought this would give quite a modern look to this. It hasn't got a huge amount of ink on it, so we'll see. I might need to stamp it twice. We'll see how we go. So I hope everybody's had a good day. Can't believe it is the 1st of July already. Where has that time gone? I just don't know. There we go. Perfect. That will do nicely. Okay, so I'm going to leave those there for the moment in case I want to do some more later. I will wipe the stamps down though and wipe my plates. There we go. Tuck that out of the way. So now I'm going to stamp my stalks. So I'm going to do these in Night of Navy and the other ones in soft suede, like so. And I'm just going to bring in a piece of grid paper. And as I said yesterday, this would make great men's cards, great new home cards and the like. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful as I stamp these to get them central underneath my birdhouses. So what I'm actually going to do is, because I find it easier to stamp this way with a horizontal stamp rather than that way, so what I'm going to do is I've turned it on its side. I'm going to bring this down And then the shaded piece is designed to sit underneath the birdhouse. Now what you could do, if you're not confident stamper, is you could put a little bit of post-it note on here and deliberately stamp slightly high so there's no gap. So let me show you that. If you're a confident stamper, then you could just go straight ahead, but just to show you that. So I'm going to put this over the edge, hopefully leave enough so I can see the edge. I've inked this up, and then I can centralize this but move the stamp slightly up so that I know it is underneath the house. Does that make sense? Rather than having a gap. So I'm going to do the same with this one. So just positioning it slightly high so that I can see where I need to stamp. Positioning that one, and the same for this one. This has got a little bit of a curve to it. Just want to see that. Yeah, so if it's in the centre of there, I'm good. Turn it around the right way though. And if you're nervous about putting it in the centre, you could just put a little mark on your post-it note, for example. So there we go, we've got our 3 slightly more modern looking birdhouses in the navy. And then I'll just do the same in soft suede on these 3. Again, I'm going to turn it on its side. This time I'm not going to mask it. And hopefully still stamp it okay. So inking that up, and again just bringing this down towards me so I can see what I'm doing, getting it central as I can. There's 1, 2 and 3. There we go. Now if I had a little gap between these, I would use either a blends pen or a Stampin' Write marker with the very fine tip and just dot in. So if this was the gap between that and the stalk, just dot it in to make up any shortfall. It's better that it's short than it goes over the top, but then you could use a darker pen just to go over. So there's lots of different ways that you can cover this up. Okay, so I'm just going to fill this in. This is light crumb cake. I did order some more Granny Apple green pens ready for coffee and card. I do need to order some more crumb cake. Okay, and then I'm just going to what have I got? Light soft suede. Just put a little bit of detail here on the side. This has got 2 2 stories. This one. So I am mixing crumb cake and soft suede. Don't be afraid to mix and match your colours. So I'm just doing this really quickly, as you can see. Might give this one a little red roof maybe. So just blending this in a little bit more where the two colours join, like so. I'm going to give that a little red roof, I think. And then this one, just going to do in the light. So one thing I hadn't considered when I stamped those three is where my sentiment's going to go. So I think what I will do is probably put it on a banner here, but then I could add the leaves and leaves. Forget my words today. The flowers, that's the word. I could put the flowers in there, so we'll see. I won't finish both cards, I'll just do one. In case you're all wanting to watch the tennis. I think Roger Federer is on at the minute. Well, he was before I started, let's put it that way. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this one is, oops, just put a little bit of detail here. I was saying yesterday, after somebody's comment, I can't remember who it was now, I haven't done some just sitting colouring in for ages. These birdhouses would be really easy to stamp, colour in and then layer up. I think you could easily make these 3D, couldn't you? Let's just add a bit of definition here. And onto here. Oops, I've got mixed colours. That'll be very confusing. So I'm thinking light Cajun craze for this rooftop. Our terracotta tile would have been perfect for this, wouldn't it? But Cajun craze is pretty close. It's that sort of pinky slightly pinky brown colour. Let's see, what colour little door should we have for that? Maybe a pale, like a weathered blue. So I've got dark balmy blue. Lucky birds. Like so. And then this one I almost want to leave white, like a dovecot, but I feel it needs to be similar to these. So I'm going to be very boring and just colour this in like so. I have a very old birdhouse in my garden, which my cat used to sit in. He used to sit, so it was sort of open here in the middle, and he used to climb up and sit inside it and sleep. Okay, let's do this one in terracotta, Cajun craze even. A bit on there, like that. So. and there. Now I think when you have this on a pole, you could actually fill this top bit in to make it look like it was part of that rather than a hanging piece, but I'll leave that one open for the time being. Okay, right, let's add a bit of scenery around this. It's rather bare and plain, so I'm going to take the flowers. So I've got these flowers here, and I'm just going to stamp them all just in pear pizzazz, I think. Let me check on any comments. No, all good. Unless you're commenting and I can't see them, in which case I apologise. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just stamp these like so. And I've just put the two floral stamps together just to speed up, and then I can put that in between like so. Take off the double one and then just use that little single one in between, so it makes a really quick base like so. And then I might just use the little grass to fill in across the bottom, or I could use I might use a green blending brush, but let's just put a little bit of the grass. So one thing I didn't consider was leaving space for my birds to sit on the top, because what I really wanted was my birds added in. So I think I'll get away with one on here, but I think it's going to be a bit tight for the others. So just filling that in. This is just that little grass stamp, this one here. Really useful. There we go. So let's see what bird I can add in. So we've got that one. I think I need to go for the smallest one. Or I could put, I'll tell you what I could do, is have a stalk coming out of here and the bird on there. That's what I'm going to do. So let's grab the stalk. Like so. Now I could put that, the circular piece actually in that circle there, but I think what I'm going to do is just ink it up, excluding that circle. So I've just inked up part. If I just stamp it, you'll see, like so. Glasses off. Popping that on there, and then one of my birds can sit on there, and I want one facing perfect. I'm going to stamp him in early espresso. Let me know if you're still live with me. That would be useful. Thank you. So there's my bird, just sat on the edge, like so. And I just wonder whether I might put one on here as well, facing in. Let's try it. There we go. And then I can add a little bit of leafage at the top. And we're all good. There we go. Perfect. So here is the greenery, and I think what I'm going to do is just have this coming sort of down the edges and from the top. Still in grow, says Jeanette. Oh good, thank you, because my live tells me there's nobody here. Which is very, very sad. And I know there's more than one because I know I'm here. Okay, so here we go. I don't really need to ink all of this up quite as much as that, but there we go. So I'm just doing, thank you for the thumbs up. Daisy. So first and second generation stamping. So there's one, there's two, just to get that little bit of detail in there. And then I'm going to bring this piece down here, surrounding that bird. There. There we go. Now this stamp also has 2 leaves, so if you had any gaps, it'd be really easy just to pop some extra little leaves in like that. So all I've got left to do is a bit of sky, colouring my birds, and then a sentiment. So let's, I'm going to do the birds first. I'm just going to do those briefly with blend pen. So I've got a little bit of balmy blue, a bit of crumb cake. So this is going to be crumb cake. I might make this bit of green underneath, then it'll look a bit more like a green finch or something. This is pear pizzazz. I'm just actually using the marker pen because it happens to be here, like so. And this one could be a chaffinch really, if I had a little bit of red in there. Make it sound like I know what I'm doing, doesn't it? There we go. That's those two. Okay, let's add a little bit of sky. So I've got a blending brush. Let me turn this over because that's a little bit messy. Let's see how much is on there. Nothing much. So dipping this in, just take a little bit off so it's not too deep, and then I'm just going to come in the area in here, just a bit of light pressure, nothing more than that, and then I could take it a little bit darker along the top where the trees are if I want to. There we go. Actually, it looks more like a woodpecker. It's the right shape for a woodpecker, isn't it? There we go. And then I could add a little bit of green ink across the bottom, just to blend that bit in. And we're done. So what sentiment do you think I should put on there, if any? I wonder. Oh, thank you, Lynn. So ideas for sentiments, or I could just leave it as it is. So this is pear pizzazz just going across the bottom, just to give that grass and flowers a bit more grounding. I do love these blending brushes, just so nice. Hello would be good. So let me see what layers I'm going to use. So I've got a piece of early espresso with a piece cut out of it, but that will work perfectly hidden in there. And I've got Mossy Meadow, which is quite dark, Pear Pizzazz, which I quite like, or I could pick up a little bit of Cajun Craze. Okay, let me leave that there and find my glasses. And then sentiment wise, I really want a sort of one that would go right the way across there, but we do have welcome and birthday wishes, which I could put across here, or I could leave it completely plain on the front and put a sentiment inside. Hello, I guess I could put hello maybe in an oval. Pear Pizzazz for base card, thank you. So I could try hello in an oval there, punching out something from here. Let's just try it and see. So just going to grab my twin oval punch, if I can see it. exactly where it should be. So what I'm going to do is go right up into here and punch both, because I know that will still be covered, whoops, by that. And then stamp hello and punch it out on there. Let me grab a scrap of white. It really is a scrap. 2 scraps. So there's hello. You could guarantee that was going to be just a little bit too deep. Ooh. I'm hoping this is going to fit, so I've just cut this down. Just. What do you think? That work like that? Or is that too big? Does it need something longer and smaller? Let me know what you think. I'm just going to have a look for other longer thin sentiments. Got a nice happy birthday. Although I wasn't going to do happy birthday. That one there would look nice across there. Or that hello. That hello might be better. We'll just try that one. See what you think. Whether just a smaller hello would be better. See. Oops, a bit carried away with my inking there. Can you see what I mean? Hello with a halo. Right, let's try this way round and not go quite as mad. Remove the hair. I'll punch that one out. Oh, bless you, Catherine. That's okay. Right, just deliberating on my sentiment. So let's just have a look at this hello, see whether this would fit a little bit better. So it looks a little bit like help with that bit cut off. So I've got hello there. Yes, I have got welcome for a new neighbour. There is a welcome here. But I haven't got any new neighbours. Welcome would actually fit in there. So would birthday. just wondering whether that's too big. My gut feel is I want something to go across there, which is where that happy birthday would come in. Let's have a look and see. Let's just try that and see. Not that I needed or wanted a birthday card, but it can add to my supply of birthday cards. I do have some more nephews' birthdays coming up actually, so that might do the job. Okay. Let's try that and see. So taking the ink pad to the stamp, not that I've primed the stamp at all. Let me just try it on the paper. Cut the second hello into an oblong and have it coming in from the left or the right, flush to the edge. I could indeed let me try this and see. I just feel, because it's very even, that I want something even in there. I think if I trim that down, I think that works, especially if I pop it down here in the grass. It's a nice happy birthday, that. Like a banner. Yes, I could do, having it come in the side. But I think it needs to be bigger to do that. So I'm going with my birthday one. Sorry everybody. After I ask all your advice, I'm going to do my own thing. Right, just trim this down very lightly. Literally 3mm off. I might have been better stamping it on a smaller piece. Let's give it a go. Oh, that moved. Now I'm just making life difficult for myself, aren't I? There we go. Thank you. There we are. I'm happy with that. And in fact, that happy birthday would fit perfectly there with a little bit on either side. So let's just layer this up. So I'm actually going to put my glue on this piece, but just keep away from the very edges, and because I don't really want to get glue on that inside piece. So it's got my holes in the back, that piece on there, and then my happy birthday I might put on with dimensionals just to give it some interest, and then we are done. And then I'll colour in my navy blue one, Night of Navy, this one here. And I'm going to do that all in blues to look a little bit more modern. Okay, so there's my card. Happy birthday is going to go across here, or it could go under there. I think I'd put it down here, although that is a bit bare, isn't it? Okay, you choose. Should I have my birthday sentiment there or down at the bottom in the grass? That's your final decision for today, folks. And then we're done. What do you reckon? Any votes? So in the grass or under the birdhouses? Yeah, bottom. I'd agree. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Jeanette and Lynn. I was going to trim it very slightly, but let's hope I get it straight after all that. I'm going to pop that on dimensionals and we're done. So thank you for joining me for our Facebook Live today. I have my class in a box on Saturday, and I'm pleased to report that my plan is to return to in-person classes at the end of July. So the class in a box will be available either as a class in a box posted or in person. And if you join in person, you get the benefit of all the recorded videos as well. So just to let you know, I will keep you posted on that. Great minds think alike, Lynn. So just want to show a little bit of that grass at the bottom. Just going to lift that very slightly. And I'm just looking at the position of the H and the Y. And I can see that I can trim a little bit more of this off to make it more even. There we go. I'm happy with that. There we are. Our finished card. Carol, where would they be held? They will be in Brackley. And depending on the date and the numbers, they will either be at Evenley Village Hall, or they will be at our new venue for coffee and card, which is in at the top of the town. So they will be in Brackley though. Okay, so thank you ever so much, everybody. Really appreciate you joining me this evening, listening to me wittering on a little bit. I do hope you have a nice evening. I'm just off to put my I've got some salmon ready to cook, so I've got some salmon this evening. So I look forward to catching up with you really soon. Watch out for some emails in the post, emails in your inboxes, to do with my next order classes, confirmation of the designer series paper sale, which is this one here, which runs till the 2nd of August, and all the information about my coffee and card sessions and my classes. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a nice evening. I appreciate your support as always, and you take care, look after yourselves, look after your loved ones. And I look forward to crafting with you soon. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.